Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Chair NFL 2019 Special Edition season preview of the AFC. And now we're going to do the last installment of the fourth division. And in the order I've gone through, we've done the North, we've done the East, we've done the South, and now we're doing the AFC West. And this one has some real intriguing pieces. There's holdouts, there's drama, there's issues, there's a lot of things plus more we'll have for you. And I think it's only right to start off with the MVP and his Kansas City Chiefs, Pat Mahomes. You can make fun of his voice, you can make fun of, his hair, his size, his whatnot, but man, he can throw the ball. He throws left-handed sometimes. He throws without looking. He's just a wonderful, wonderful player. Even as a Raider, I gotta give it up to him. He knows how to get out of the pocket and makes magic happen. Magic Mahomes. That's what I call him. So we know what Chiefs are going to get out of him, and it's going to be a very tough time. I believe he's on the Madden cover. I think that's the only thing that the AFC West other opponents and divisions have going for him is that he's on the Madden cover, and they're hoping that that'll do something, or have a sophomore slump or something. Will come good out of for the others, but not looking like it. He's really solid. Running backs, they did lose some. Of course, the Kareem Hunt episode, and he's somewhere else now. Damian Williams will be there starting, and then Carlos Hyde, a solid backup, and they'll both share the carries on that note. And that's bad, whatever. At wide receiver, they still have Tyreek Hill, and now it's the first part about the drama, I guess, that was the offseason for Tyreek Hill. There was an allegation of child abuse, and I guess it didn't happen, or there's no evidence, so he's not suspended the game. He's not, nothing's happening to him. So he will be in the starting lineup week 1, and he will be a force again. His game-breaking speed is amazing. And he's a threat anywhere on the field. And when he's a punt returner, it's by Felicia almost every time. Opposite of Tyreek Hill, they have receivers. They have Sammy Watkins, who had a great year with the LA Rams a couple years ago. In Kansas City, he showed out a bit this last season, but he's hoping to step up and need a solid number 2 receiver for Kansas City, as they need a second. They also have Marius Robinson, good receiver as well, young guy, and will be learning from the others and how to play with Pat Mahomes. Now, tight end, very solid guy, Travis Kelce. So good. He's, of course, the top 3 tight end in the game. There was Gronk at the top, and then I think you had Kelce, and then you had Kittle for San Francisco. I know I missed probably a couple others, but when you think of tight ends, you think of those 3 being a tremendous asset to their teams, and Travis Kelce is that. Now, offensive line, Eric Fisher, left tackle, still there, still making a tremendous impact, still doing his thing, number 72. They have Devon Way, smart guy. They have Schwartz, still there, so the offensive line is still solid. Might be young in the other spots, but they're pretty good. They're pretty good, and you're gonna have to be with having Mahomes back there. They did get defensively Danny Clark from Seattle, just one of those Legion of Boom or Doom. I forget how you say it. Legion of Doom defensive players for Seattle gone elsewhere, and he's one of those guys that will have to anchor the defense for Kansas City. On the line, they have Alex Okafor. Safety, they have Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger. But no more Eric Berry, and that would be interesting. Eric Berry is somewhere else, and we only hope the best for him. He came back from cancer. He before that, he was a Pro Bowl safety. He do it all, and wish nothing but the best for him. So I have Kansas City definitely in first. Second team, Chargers. Still in Carson for one more season. And they're going to rent in Inglewood. I hate him, but you have to give it up to Phillip Rivers. Been in the league since 04, starting since 05, haven't missed a game since, started since 05, haven't missed a game since 2006. Consummate passer, getting those yards, getting those clutch third down passes. He has his way of doing stuff, has 8 kids, doesn't swear, but will talk trash and talk to the officials. No doubt a first ballot Hall of Famer. You just have to give it up to him. No doubt. And he's 37, coming to a final season on his contract. It'll be interesting to see what the Chargers brass does with Phillip Rivers after this season, because they didn't draft a quarterback to replace him. So, they're bound to keep him for, you would think, a couple more years, maybe until he's 40. Be like a Tom Brady situation if they can keep blocking for him. As the Chargers have a pretty solid offensive line. We'll see how that goes. Now again, drama. They have the holdout of Melvin Gordon, who chose not to show up for training camp or preseason, and he'll be fine. As they go, he'll go. But there is talks that he will come back by week 1. They just have to do. Both sides have to be on the right page. But we've seen the Chargers in the past in San Diego have their issues with holdout players and trading them away, or we've seen Joey Bosa. Last year, I think they're in San Diego. He held out because I don't think he ultimately wanted to be with the organization, but they paid him what he wanted, and you see him flourishing with the Chargers. Without Gordon, Eckler is a great player. Justin Jackson. Those are 2 running backs that they're looking to carry the load without Gordon. Have a few more that they're working out in preseason. Saw them a couple today that they were running. So Eckler will be the main guy until Gordon comes back. The receiving core, pretty good. Keenan Allen really showing out. He had his couple of injuries that he's gone through, but he's come back strong and he's trying to be uh, top 10, trying to be a top 10 receiver. And then Mike Williams from Clemson, who they drafted a couple of years ago, he showed last year what he can do in a small sample size. He's really doing well, and he's just another threat that other teams have to look out for. Travis Benjamin, small. It's kind of like a poor man's Tyreek Hill. Not as fast, not as strong, but he can make returns happen. He can catch little balls and turn them into big games. So we'll see about that. Now, the one thing that the Chargers have had for a while was Antonio Gates, but he is not there anymore. And that'd be awkward. I'm not seeing with the Chargers, and he was even gone one year, and they brought him back. That was last year. He was gone for a little while, then they needed a tight end with Hunter Henry out, and he's coming back, Hunter Henry. But that would be awkward, not seeing Gates with the Chargers. Hunter Henry's coming back from injury, so he's going to show out. Be interesting to see how he plays coming back from the injury he had. The defense, which is awesome as well. Joey Bosa up front. Very, very, very fast and strong. He'll get in there. Brandon Mabane, he's a defensive tackle that you look out for to push up front. And then you have Melvin Ingram that's coming into his own. And he comes from the outside and he'll wreak havoc. And the move that they made that I don't think I was shocked, but I was like, wow, really? Thomas Davis, the pro linebacker all these years, was with Carolina. Now he's with the Chargers. And he's brought some experience, he's brought some leadership to Charger defense. So that would be something to look out for. When they listen to him, will they look at his way of doing things and say, hey, okay, that sounds right. Their secondary, which was honestly one of the best in the game last year. Casey Hayward's still back there. Desmond King is back there. Now, the Chargers did suffer a big loss in camp with Darren James. He'll be out indefinitely. He was a really rising safety the Chargers had. And now they replace him with a veteran coming on in. And that will be a big loss because the hype on Darren James was very, very high. And he showed his worth last season. And unfortunately, he'll be out. So if there's a loophole in the secondary, it's because of James being out. And I have them in second place. And could be more, could be less. Depends how they go through the season, and Melvin Gordon, how long his holdout will go. That's the issue. So now we should go with the Denver Broncos as the third place team. It's between the Raiders and the Broncos for third and last, but Joe Flacco fell out of favor with the Ravens last season. He's traded to Denver. And just another quarterback that John Elway wanted his passing, going down the field, being a veteran. That's something John Elway looks out for. And all the quarterbacks he's acquired. Seems like he goes out for those veteran quarterbacks that either have it or don't anymore. There's only been one, and that's been Peyton Manning. Uh, so they also drafted a quarterback, Drew Lock, and he's got some spunk in him. He's fighting with Joe for sure for the starting spot, even though Joe Flacco should get it. But Locke is not afraid to mix it up. And I'm pretty sure you'll see both of them in the season, depending on how Flacco does. If he doesn't do well right away, Joe will be replaced with Drew. But the running back core, they have a pretty good core here. They have Philip Lindsay, showed out last year, Colorado man, went to University of Colorado, grew up a Bronco fan, and he's small, but he can really power through. He's really good. And they also have not Devontae Freeman, but another Freeman, Theo Riddick. You remember him from the Lions. Then Devontae Booker. So they have good 4 running backs, and that's what we always remember from the Mike Shanahan era of the Broncos, that they had 1, 2, or 3 running backs in a year that could all rush for a good amount of yards. I remember the days of Terrell Davis, and they had Mike Anderson, Orlando Gary, they had Clint Portis, and then they had others, and we'll see how that goes. They have good running core. You can switch up. Receivers, Emmanuel Sanders still there, still a big game threat. Tight ends and offensive line are real young, so it's not like the old offensive line for Denver. We don't really know their names now, so we'll see how that goes. Their defense, Derek Wolfe is the anchor up front, but the attention is the linebacking core of Bradley Chubb and Von Miller. They're both studs back there, Miller being the best out of everyone. The secondary, you have Chris Harris Jr., and then from Houston, Kareem Jackson came over to Denver, so that would be interesting to see how that goes in Denver. And I have them in 3rd place. And now, the team behind me, my team, the Oakland Raiders. Yeah, wow. Berman impression. Derek Carr, he's looking to come back from a subpar year. Last couple of years, there's not belief in him. Even our own fans, say, no, he's not a Raider. He's not tough. He's not durable. He's looking to change that with his leadership, with his moxie, and looking to have a big year. And he has 2 quarterbacks behind him, Mike Glennon and Nathan Peterman. When I think of those 2 names, and I think of the Raiders, and I think, okay, misery needs company. And they've joined together on that one. I mean, to have those 2 backing up Carr, you're like, oh, God, I don't want to use so Carr. I got to keep it, the offensive line got to keep moving. So we'll see. At running back, with all those draft picks in the first round that they acquired for trading Mack and Mark Cooper, which are stupid deals. I'm still mad on that, for sure. That was running back Jacobs from Alabama, and they're really high on him. The Raiders are. Seems like the Raiders just drafted everybody that's been in the the NCAA championship games, and it's made an impact in some sort of way in him. Josh Jacobs we'll see how he does as a rookie, and everybody has him for rookie of the year. Everybody has him doing well, so we'll see. Doug Martin, I didn't even realize the muscle hamster. He's still going, and he's still with the Raiders. Uh, Richard is still there. Washington is still there, and they have a couple of other running backs that they're looking at to see who will stick behind Jacobs. Ugh. Now we go to the wide receiving core. I'll do Antonio Brown last. Tyrell Williams, knew him from the Chargers. Had a great couple of last seasons with the Chargers, and now he's with the Raiders looking to do more. And already, I seen in training camp and in the preseason, there's a good connection with quarterbacks, Carr and Williams. So, if something's going there, at least there's Tyrell Williams doing well. And the rookie, Hunter Renfrow. Not Hunter Renfrow of the Padres, but Hunter Renfrow of Clemson. He came up clutch in the championship game a couple years last year. He's a rookie, but he's already looking like a pro. And there's a lot to love about him. There's a lot to love about the wide receiving core of the Raiders, as there's a fourth and fifth spot out there for the receiving core. It's Admin, there's Nelson, there's Harris, and there's Doss. Doss is a funny, not a funny story, but a cool story, I would say, because I believe he went to UC Davis and he broke a lot of receiving records. UC Davis has a handful of players that, either drafted or undrafted that somehow made NFL rosters. And Doss is just one of those guys that's making an impression, though, in the preseason. So it's pretty cool to see. Do we have to? Yeah. So Antonio Brown, he's with the Raiders. And already there's issues. Man. I see why the Steelers traded him for a fourth round pick, I think, third round pick on him. They wanted him gone right away. And with Antonio Brown comes drama right from the start. He came in an air balloon to training camp. He didn't like the new helmet that he had to use, and he's taking himself out of training camp because of that, because he wants the old helmet that the league won't give him because of safety rules. And him and his agent, Drew Rosenhaus, has to know that. There's no way around it. Either he's, safe or don't play. Or just get used to the helmet. Get used to it. His feet are the problem. There was this horrendously gross picture of the bottom of his feet. And I don't know if you want to see it, but it's out there. And it's pretty gross. And you can tell bottom of his feet have been taking a beating. All these years playing really well with the Steelers. So he's in and out of training camp. He made an appearance. And then he wasn't here on Sunday when he was supposed to. He was here Saturday, left Sunday because of the hearing, and he's not there. He should have been back by now. And don't know if he'll be ready week 1. And it's fitting the theme of Hard Knocks is playing because the Oakland Raiders are on Hard Knocks. And I think my personal opinion, that's mine, that he's doing it all. He's doing all this. He has all this drama and controversy just because he is on Hard Knocks. That's what people remember about these Hard Knocks shows. It's all the controversial holdouts and fights and other things that happen. So Antonio Brown, I can just wish that he'll come back and he'll be a good example. But for now, he's not doing that. And I don't know what's going on. So off of the receivers, got a good corner. Just gotta know who's gonna play. They have a lot of young tight ends that they're trying out. It's not going to be good without Cook. Jared Cook was just amazing the last couple of years with the Raiders, and now he's with a better team, with the Saints, and he's going to be amazing for New Orleans. And I know this guy named Matthew is a Saints fan and other Saints fans, and I told him, "Yeah, you're going to love that guy." So without him, they're young. They do have Luke Wilson. He was a Seahawk and a Lion tight end, but he's nothing to rave about. The offensive line, Colton Miller, the young man, Richie Incognito, who will be suspended a couple of games, so you won't see him right away. Rodney Hudson, the solid veteran. Gabe Jackson as well there. And they did pick up Trent Brown from New England. So there's hopes that he could show the young guys the ropes on the offensive line. We'll see. Now, defensively is going to be the very, very difficult part about the Raiders. And they did acquire some veterans, but they were still real young, really, really young. Farrell drafted number 4 with the Raiders out of Clemson. Again, I guess the GM, was watching the championship game and said, "Hey, we got all these picks. We might as well spend them on guys who won." I guess he's had a pretty good couple of preseason games. It's going to be interesting to see how he adjusts to the pro game. Key is there as well on the defensive line, opposite of Farrell. We'll see how those two work. Linebackers, you have Whitehead, and then AB, Antonio Brown's rival, which I didn't get. Why would you put them together in the same locker room? Devontae's perfect just now with the Raiders, and it'll be interesting to see if those two ever face off in the locker room or on the sideline or something, because they have a history, of course, and they were both playing in the same division. AB with the Steelers and Perfect with the Bengals, and they had an interesting encounter at one time. Brandon Marshall. No, not that Brandon Marshall. Linebacker with the Broncos. He's looking to show something there. He's already made some great strides with the team and his teammates with the young defense. The secondary, you have Joseph back there. He's one of those young guys, along with Conley, that's going to have to really step it up. Now, the one move I did like, other from, well, not many, but the one move I did like the Raiders having is LaMarcus Joyner from the LA Rams. And he was pretty good last couple of years with LA. So the Raiders have a corner there who will show some type of improvement for them also defensively. But we will see. We'll see. But for now, I have the Chiefs in first, have the Chargers second, Broncos and Raiders tied for third and last. There might be a wild card out of this division. Depends on how the Chargers do. And that's been the AFC for all these 4 episodes you've seen of the chair of the 2019 special edition season preview of the NFL. So we'll do the NFC when we get there pretty soon. Just check your phones and your devices, and I'll be posting wherever I am these shows, and you'll see me, and we'll have a good time. We'll talk. Play fantasy. We'll do whatever. It's been fun to cover the AFC. The NFC is coming next, and they have intriguing teams there as well. So we'll see you on the next edition of the chair. Later.